Hello, this is a prepaid call from Randall, an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder and armed robbery in King Mountain Correctional Center in Oakwood, Virginia. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I have a toll-free number if you would like to call, leave a message, encouragement, ask a question, whatever it may be. The number is 1-888-524-1932. That's in the United States. Anyone outside of the U.S., simply put a plus in front of the 1, and it's the exact same number. I hope to hear from you. Today, I'm going to talk about friendship and how important it is. Not inside of prison, because as long-time listeners, already know from me, and new-time listeners, I do my best to not do friendship in prison, with guys that are in prison with me, because the simple fact is I'm one of them dudes that I'm loyal. I'm loyal to a fault, and if they go, I'm obligated by my own honor, my own code, to ride with them. So, I have had some friends in prison, but I do my best to stay away from it, because it can definitely get you in trouble. But I want to talk about the friendships outside of prison. Those are the ones that mean the most to me, because the friends I have outside of prison, they're not the friends I came, into prison with, because quite frankly, I didn't have friends back then. I have them now, and they've been such a blessing to me. I would not be here where I'm at right now. I would not be at King Mountain. I would not have the life I have. I would not be enjoying life nowhere near as much if it wasn't for my friends. I have some who help me in just many, many various ways. Yes, some of that help is financial, and that makes a world of difference in here. When you're not forced to eat meat rock. In the meat rock, it literally has on the box, not for human consumption. So thanks to Paulie and Ava and Sinclair, and a few others, I can buy commissary now, so that's been such a blessing. But that's not what I want to talk about, because that's just the material things. And that's, at the end of the day, while it is such a blessing to me and it means the world to me, it's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when someone in here is just constantly running their mouth, or they're just gossiping. They're making stuff up just to make themselves seem more important. So they start lying about you behind your back, or they just fake-ass gangbangers. I can't stand a fake-ass gangbanger. Like, if you're a gangbanger and you're real, like, you're legit with it, you actually live it, you walk it out, I got respect for you. I can live with that. Don't have a problem with it. But 95% of the gangbangers in the state of Virginia Department of Corrections are a bunch of scared-ass bitches, and I've got no respect for them. But yet they want to walk around with their chest out, and, man, like, you hard, bro. You ain't fucking hard, man. Get away from me. And I get drawn in to that anger and that emotional state to where, I want to revert back to who I used to be. I want to sit there and teach an object lesson, not just to them, but to their homies and to the rest of the people. can't do that because that's not who I want to be anymore. Because that's not who I am anymore. I no longer settle my disputes with fists. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't get into another fight, before these doors open and I get a chance to go home. You never know. Sometimes, they might swing on you, and then it is what it is. I've learned a lot from my friends, because when I get frustrated, when I get angry, when I get mad, I'm not alone anymore. I'm not alone in that anger. I'm not alone in that pain or that frustration or that rage or that feeling of despair. Like, I'm no longer alone. I have people that have willingly walked into my darkness to bring me some of their light. For example, I've got a buddy named Matthew Johnston. Originally he's from North Carolina, but now he's living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. And he's actually done time. He's, of all of my friends, he's the only one that's actually done real prison time. A couple of others have done some jail time. My buddy Joseph in Appleton, Wisconsin. Shout out to you, Hoss. But as far as actually being inside real prison, Matthew is the only one. And he's done time in North Carolina and Texas. And Texas that's a rough system right there to do time in. I don't care who you are, what color your skin, or what you're locked up for. Like that's some pretty harsh time right there. That's a state. I mean, I can make it any prison in the world. I'm going to survive. That's what I am, a survivor. But there's a few systems I don't want to do time in. And Texas is up there at the top of that damn list. But I get to call this guy, and I'll sit there and, when I talk, I'll use prison terminology sometimes. And with him, I don't have to stop and explain myself, like I do with pretty much everyone else. If I say, yo, man, I fixed a swole, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He knows I cooked a bunch of soups, cheese, mayonnaise, hot sauce, whatever I could put in it. Like, we put it in there and we throw it on the table and, we chow down. Like, he knows that. Like, I don't have to stop and explain that and explain every ingredient and how I cooked it and all that stuff. We fixed a swole. Yeah, bro, I remember them days. Like, he knows this, he understands, he gets me in a way that most don't because he has this experience. But the thing that he helps me with the most is in how he's raising his two boys, Liam and Ryan. Liam and Ryan, I hope y'all hear this. And they're good kids, they're a little rambunctious, they're boys, and like, he doesn't beat his kids. And I've actually been on the phone a couple of times when he disciplines his kids. He doesn't start screaming at them. Every now and then he has to put a little bass in his voice. Especially, when Ryan, he wants 5 minutes of game time, and he's already had about 15 extra. I'm like, all right, damn it, I'm going to take it from you. Like, he has to, kind of assert his dominance a little bit, but like, he's never once yelled at him. He's never once screamed at him. He's never once put his hands on him. Like, he's showing me and teaching me how to be a father when that day for me comes. And his father wasn't drunk. His father, abused and beat him, not sexually, just he beat his ass and his brother's asses. That's what I mean by abuse. We have that stuff in common, like, but it's the fact that he's broken that cycle. Like, he's doing really good for himself. He's done time in 2 prison systems, and he doesn't just have a job. He's not working for McDonald's or something. He's actually a project leader for a construction company. And he's doing really well for himself. And, like, that gives me hope. Like, okay, you know what, man, I can get out here and I can do something too, and I don't just have to be, a bottom feeder in the job world. I don't have to just take some crappy ass job at McDonald's, you know, for $8-9 an hour or whatever it is nowadays. I can actually go out there and do something. I can actually make a good living, you know, because he takes his boys all over. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff. You know, the boys live mostly with their mom, you know, especially during the school year and everything. He gets them on the weekends, and, you know, for the most part, he gets them for the summer, too. But, you know, I love to sit back and, like, I'll call, and sometimes I may only speak to him for 10 minutes of the 20-minute call. But for the other 10 minutes, I'm listening to him engage with his boys, and, you know, they're asking him questions, and, you know, he stops what he does, and he actually focuses in on them, and he communicates with them in a way that most parents don't. You know, and that's really, really freaking cool to see, you know, or to listen to in my case. You know, plus he's a good dude. You know, I really do like this cat. He's good people's. You know, and then I have others. You know, obviously I have my fiance at the moment, Nicole. You know, she, yeah, that's a whole nother 2 or 3 podcasts in and of itself. There, you know, she makes me laugh. You know, I've got my buddies Paulie and Donica. You know, 2 young boys from Ireland, Dublin, as a matter of fact. You know, and I talk to them on a regular basis, and they watch some of the trashiest, stupidest TV there is in existence. You know, when I get what they're doing. It's, you know, it's mostly in the background. They'll have a few beers. It's, you know, late at night. It is what it is. But, like, they watch some of the stupidest ass television. And I get to call. And I get to talk to them, and they put me on speaker, and, you know, and you've got, you know, sometimes their friends are over. Sometimes their girlfriends are over, although Paulie's in a bit of a dry spell. That's just a shame, isn't it? But I get to laugh, like, you know, talking to them, hearing them, you know, do their things and make fun of the TV and what's going on, and they'll tell me what's happening and stuff. And it relieves stress. It, you know, it lightens my mood. It gives me something to laugh at. It gives me something to make fun of them for watching, which honestly I kind of think they sort of do at this point now. They're just really searching for dumb television just so I can call and make fun of them for it. And I appreciate that, boys. I've got, you know, my buddy Josh in Philadelphia. You know, we talk sports a lot, because he's a huge Philadelphia Eagle fan. He's a huge, what's their baseball team? I can't even, sorry, I'm drawing a freaking blank here. But, you know, we talk sports. You know, we talk about, you know, his interaction with his friends. You know, we talk about different things. Like, you know, that's the thing about my friends. Like, they all come from these different walks of life. You know, I have friends that come from the hood. I've got my friend Cupcake, from Northern Virginia, originally from Philly in the Jersey area. And, you know, whenever I need someone to call up here, you know, I just call her, and she's, you know, she answers. She's all bubbly and happy, you know, and everything. And I'm like, look, Cupcake, I don't need you right now. I need Hellcake. I need you to call up here. And she's like, oh, goody. Like, she gets excited when she can call up here and raise hell just to help me out. You know, these are the kind of friends that I have, and they mean the world to me. I have my buddy Michael in Ontario, Canada. You know, me and him, we have a whole lot of fun, especially making fun of his fiance and her horse fixation. You know, she loves horses, and, you know, I'm constantly telling him, like, look, man, you have to go with her whenever she goes to a horse show. Otherwise, she's probably coming back with 5 or 6 horses, and 2 of them she probably didn't pay for. You know, she loves horses that much. She probably will wind up stealing a horse someday. Especially if she finds a horse is being abused or something. Like, she will not tolerate that for second. And, you know, he's my tech guy. Of course, now, you know, Michael, too, is actually my new editor. So, you know, shoot him an email and thank him for stepping up. You know, I have, you know, friends, you know, Michael Wan, you know, the original Michael, he produces the podcast. He's the one who started all this. If it wasn't for him, there would be no Red Onion Randy. If it wasn't for him, I would have no voice. I would have a lot to say. I just would have no one to say it to. You know, and he's opened the world to me. You know, as a matter of fact, him and Paulie, my field producer, they just actually flew over to America to visit me together. You know, which was, I don't even know how to put that into words. I mean, it was so surreal. I know their voice over the phone so well. But actually seeing them in person, you know, being able to hug them, you know, to sit across this little small table from them and just talk, you know, and just look at each other. It was one of the coolest moments of my life. It's something that, you know, I would absolutely cherish. You know, that memory of just talking to them, you know, laughing and joking, you know, telling them some stories, telling them about Old Man Red in here, which, you know, I'm definitely doing a podcast on him too, because he's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. I mean, that boy was freaking wild. 82 years old, the oldest man in prison, and he's done 47 years on an 11-year bid. Like, that's, yeah, you know, but I got to tell them stories about him, and, you know, seeing them laugh, like, it was something else. But I think my friend Ju Yin means the most to me out of all my friends. And that means no disrespect to any of my other friends. You know, especially those that I don't mention. I'm sorry. There's too many. I can't, yeah. It would probably take me 40 or 50 episodes to talk about every friend that I have. And I'm pretty sure people will get bored by that. But Ju Yin is the most special one to me. And I can't even really put into words why. You know, I know she's hurting right now. I know, you know, she's battling health issues, which she's probably, you know, not too happy with me saying. But there's just something about her that touches me on a level that most people have never touched me on. You know, I care for this woman, and, you know, I pray for her daily. And the fact that, like, you know, she doesn't get better, you know, it kills me inside, because I feel like I'm letting her down. And I know that she, you know, would never want me to feel that way. And the crazy thing is, going through everything she's going through, she still does everything in her power to make my life better. She still does everything in her power to take on my own pain and to help me deal with it, you know. Like, there's times when the pain is so bad for her that, you know, she can barely roll over in bed, but yet she'll make herself sit up and type me an email just to see how I'm doing. You know, she has a heart of a lion. You know, and she means the world to me. Like, it's one of the very first things I do when I get out is get a passport so I can go over to Australia to visit her, to spend time with her. You know, she has this park that she loves to go to. She has this tree. Like, it's a cool tree. I wish I could put a picture. Matter of fact, I might try to talk Michael into going and taking a picture of that tree and putting it up on one of my platforms. So y'all, it's a nice looking tree. I like that tree. It's got character.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I want to take her to that tree and just sit there and just talk, you know, and just spend a few hours, you know. Yeah, anyway, sorry, folks. I'm getting a little emotional thinking about her. She really is hurting. So pray for her, please. But just know something, you know, when you reach out to a prisoner, Yeah, you're walking into their darkness. And yes, some of them might try to use you, and I'm sorry for that. Truly, I am. So be careful. Go back and find the episodes where I talk about how to be safe when you're writing one. But you're bringing a light to us that is immeasurable in value. And for all of those who've reached out to me, God bless you, because you've helped me in ways that you will never understand. I am who I am because of you. I'm still on the right path because of you. Y'all have kept me strong.
Thank you for using GTL.